Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the March 26, 2025 meeting of the Wall Township Committee. I ask you please rise, state the Pledge of Allegiance, and pause for a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Madam Clerk, could you read the Sunshine Statement, please?
In compliance with the Open Public Meeting Act, Chapter 231, PL 1975, adequate notice of this meeting has been provided in the following manner. The annual notice was forwarded to the official township newspapers and was posted in the Wall Township Municipal Building. All notices are on file with the Township Clerk.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Committeeman Farrell.
Here.
Committeewoman Mangan.
Here.
Committeeman Orender.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Becht.
Here.
Mayor Clayton.
Here.
We have 5 members present.
Thank you. Number 4, resolution to go to private session. We're going to skip that tonight. We have no reason to go to private session before the meeting. Madam Clerk, could you introduction of ordinance 6, 2025.
Introduction of ordinance number 6, 2025, an ordinance of the Township Committee of the Township of Wall in the County of Monmouth, State of New Jersey, authorizing the sale of certain lands in the Township of Wall to be sold at private sale in accordance with NJSA 40A:12-13B5. Mayor?
Thank you. Move for a motion for the first reading. Second reading will be a public hearing on April 23rd at 7 p.m. pursuant to the law. A motion on this?
I'll make the motion.
Second?
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Committeeman Farrell.
Yes.
Committeewoman Mangan.
Yes.
Committeeman Orender.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Becht.
Yes.
Mayor Clayton.
Yes.
We have 5 yeas.
Thank you. Moving on to item number 6, ordinance number 7, 2025. Would you introduce that ordinance, please?
Introduction of ordinance number 7, 2025, an ordinance of the Township Committee of the Township of Wall in the County of Monmouth, State of New Jersey, to an ordinance of the Township Committee of the Township of Wall in the County of Monmouth of New Jersey, an ordinance to exceed the municipal budget appropriation limit and establish a cap bank in accordance with NJSA 40A:4-45:14 for calendar year 2025.
Thank you. A motion on that ordinance to be adopted its first reading and advertised for a second reading, public hearing on April 23rd, 2025 at 7 p.m. Pursuant to the law.
Make the motion, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Second?
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Committeeman Farrell.
Yes.
Committeewoman Mangan.
Yes.
Committeeman Orender.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Becht.
Yes.
Mayor Clayton.
Yes.
We have 5 yeas.
Thank you. Number 7, could you read the ordinance?
Second reading and public hearing of ordinance number 5, 2025, an ordinance of the Township Committee of the Township of Wall in the County of Monmouth, the State of New Jersey, implementing voter-approved increase to the annual collection rate of the Wall Township Open Space Trust Fund. Mayor?
Thank you. Does any member of the public wish to make a comment on the above referenced ordinance prior to its adoption? Anybody want to talk on this ordinance? Ma'am? Could you come up to the microphone, please, ma'am? State your name, municipality.
I got you. Don't worry. Take your time.
Thanks, Sal.
Thank you. Okay, that's good, thanks. Yeah, I just have a question on the title, open space. What do you mean by that?
On the open space ordinance,
Yes,
it's for how the funds can be used.
and
Yeah.
Judy, if I may,
Uh-huh.
the governing body last year passed an ordinance that put this on the November ballot, and the residents of Wall voted in the affirmative to implement an open space tax. That tax, which we are putting it into effect this evening, would increase the tax rate by 15 cents per $100 of tax rateables, and the money would be put aside in a separate fund that could only be used for specific purposes such as acquiring property, bonding to acquire property, and to make some improvements on public, on township property. So the purpose of the tax is to keep open space.
Oh, okay. I didn't understand it, so. All right, thanks. I got it.
Yeah, but we're in a public comment for the ordinance, Judy.
Oh.
Open
For the
space
open
ordinance, yes.
So how much does that work out to, for each
It's
homeowner?
1.5 cents per 100.
How much does it work out for the average homeowner? My
I don't have the
taxes
calculator
are,
in front of me.
well, I mean, you should if you're trying to pass this tonight. I mean, I think it's.
It was passed by the voters. It was a 60% approval, which was basically a mandate by the voters.
I realize that, but I'd like to know how much it's going to increase my tax bill.
Yeah, we can
So-
get you that, but as I recall, it was in the 20s. I believe it was 20. Don't hold me to that, but I think it was about 28 to 30 bucks per average across the town per home.
Right, I mean, if that's what it is, you should know what it is, and you should be able to answer that very simple question. You know, people's bills are going way up, electric, gas, my car insurance, you know. We have $8 million sitting in surplus right now for open space. I didn't even think we needed to do this.
Thank you. Anyone else on the ordinance? Seeing none? Motion to close the public hearing?
Make the motion.
And close the public hearing and adopt the ordinance. Second? Roll call, please.
Committeeman Farrell.
Yes.
Committeewoman Mangan.
Yes.
Committeeman Orander.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Beck.
Yes.
Mayor Clayton.
Yes,
We have 5 yeas to approve the ordinance.
thank you. Madam Clerk, we're moving on to number 8, the consent agenda.
All items listed on the consent agenda are considered routine by the township and will be adopted or approved collectively by a single motion or roll call vote of a majority of the township committee. All items are available for public inspection at this meeting and in the office of the township clerk. There will be no separate discussion of these items. If a discussion is desired on any item, it will be considered separately. Mayor?
Thank you. A motion for the consent agenda.
I'll make the motion.
And a second?
Second it.
Roll call, please.
Committeeman Farrell.
Yes.
Committeewoman Mangan.
Yes.
Committeeman Orander.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Beck.
Yes.
Mayor Clayton.
Yes,
We have 5 yeas to approve the consent agenda.
thank you. Moving on to number 9, public comment statement, please.
The public comment portion of our meeting is to allow the public to bring to the committee's attention their concerns or comments. In accordance with NJSA 10:4-12A, the committee asks the public to limit their comments to 5 minutes or less. The committee will respect the public's time by refraining from any comment until the speaker has finished with their allotted time. It should be further noted that the public comment portion of our meeting is not structured as a question and answer session. If a member of the public has questions they seek answers to, an appointment can be made with the Township Administrator's office during regular business hours. The attorney will regulate the time during the comment portion of our meeting. Mayor?
Thank you. Anyone wish to make public comment at this time?
Good evening, everybody. My name is Keith Hunsinger. I reside in the President Street section of Wall Township. So tonight I wanted to talk about eminent domain. I read an article that said that the plan by the Monmouth County Commission to use eminent domain for the airport was struck down. So that was something that I talked about a lot during my campaign. So I think that's a good thing. I also had a question about the town's ongoing pursuit of eminent domain for Quail Ridge, when we're going to get any sort of update on that. I also had an idea as far as the way we might be able to use eminent domain. I don't know if this is outside of the scope of things, but the Peddler's Village, what is going on with that? Would that be something the town could acquire, maybe for the purpose of making something like a community flea market or something? I don't know. I'm just spitballing ideas. It was something that I thought of the other day, so I thought I'd bring it to you and maybe pitch the idea. I obviously don't have the money to buy it, so yeah. So yeah, that's if anybody has the answer for my question about the eminent domain for Quail Ridge, I would. You would like to? I'm done as far as my public comment. If you would like to answer that.
The governing body wants the public comment period to end, and then they'll address the questions.
Okay, that's perfectly fine. Thank you. I appreciate you all. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you, sir.
Betsy Cross, I live in Wall. I mean, I think it would be helpful you put these tables back, because when I have papers, I can't go through them. So I guess it's on purpose, you're not putting it out. Got a question on public bids for farmland lease, 250322 and 0323. If you could go over what we're doing with that. I know, Mr. Gross, is your second meeting here tonight. If you could just go over how many hours you're working per week and what your pay is. I'm hearing $2,500 a week, $2,900 a week. I see emergency appropriations for $90,000. I don't know if that's just for you. I don't know if you're going to be here 3 months, 6 months, 2 years, while we're still paying Mr. Bertrand $18,000 to sit home. We know how that went with the Board of Ed. We paid 3 football coaches for 19 months to sit home. A couple of them even got stipends when they weren't even here. We cannot have these packages to go to people that are not working. We cannot have it. And then, you know, give people raises. I mean, put Tom Rideau, we elevated him and gave him a $20,000 raise and made him the assistant principal in the intermediate school. Just doesn't make any sense. So I think everybody's seen that lawsuit that's out this week. 2 lawsuits that are out this week. Might be more coming. They're all online, they're all public information, and they're all very disturbing. So you, as the committee, should take an interest in that. It was horrifying that Dr. Handerhan, after 3.5 years, couldn't even come up with a statement for the newspaper, and neither could the Board of Ed President, James Maliff. It's really embarrassing. They did list the 9 or 7 kids in their lawsuit, so everybody can take a look at that. What we can have is, and the internal investigation showed nothing. Wall Police started, then it went to the prosecutor's office. And then we're going to pay out $20 million, and then Brian Smite's going to try and hide it in the JIF because it's paid out through insurance. The same thing happens over and over and over again. We cannot have this continue. You're hurting children, and we have, it looks like, the Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts. Oh, there's probably communications. We got the Boy Scouts here. You have to do better. You have to protect children. And I don't think you're doing a good job. You okay, Tim?
Yep.
Okay. In terms of Mr. Bertrand, I read that post that was on Facebook, and that, you know, that's gone to everybody, prosecutor's office, everybody else. So I hope if there's an investigation going on, you should just let us know. If there's not an investigation going on, then he should come back and we don't have to pay Mr. Gross. It's that easy. But if there's an investigation going on, I think the public are entitled to know, especially since we're paying him $18,000 to be home. And knowing what we've done in the Wall Board of Ed to pay people to sit home of over $1 million. So, any updates on any other, oh, the $8 million, that's what I don't understand. We have $8 million sitting in surplus, so why? We don't need to buy the golf course, they're not selling it. We got out of that mess with the airport. But I don't want to see my taxes go up at all. I want to see my taxes go down. And they're not. And to have $8 million sitting in surplus, Mr. Gross, maybe you've had a chance to take a look at it. Do you know why we have so much money sitting there? It doesn't make any sense. So I hope you're digging deep into this and figuring out why we got so much money sitting in the bank and you want to raise our taxes. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else for public comment? Seeing none, motion to close public comment.
Make the motion.
Second?
I'll second. Committeeman Farrell.
Yes.
Committeewoman Mangan.
Yes.
Committeeman Orinder.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Beck.
Yes.
Mayor Clayton.
Yes,
We have 5 yeas to close the public comment.
thank you. Now we'll move on to closing comments from the Township Committee.
Mr. Mayor, there's something I'd like to clear up, what Mr. Unsinger said.
Could you
He said that...
use your mic?
That the county was struck down on buying the airport. That's not true. They withdrew the eminent domain. They never had eminent domain to begin with in place. They made an agreement with Mr. Artaki. They're going to work with Mr. Artaki. Eminent domain is always open, but it was never struck down by any government party. Sure. And I'd just like to say about Quail Ridge, Mr. Muller tried to sell Quail Ridge twice to developers. One was to build homes, the other was warehouses. It's one of the best pieces of property in the town. We weren't going to allow that to happen. We want to keep it as is. It's a landmark, we believe, in Wall Township and in the county for that matter, so that's why we're doing what we're doing. We didn't want to do eminent domain. We negotiated for 9 months. It looked like everything was going great. And then all of a sudden, the tire went flat, and where we're at right now. But we are not going to let him sell that to a developer, that property, so that's why. Doesn't matter, it's not for sale. You want to see warehouses in there? Because that's what was going in there. 2 warehouses.
You can't call out from the crowd, please. The public comment period is
That's all
over.
I have, thanks.
Thank you. Committeewoman Mangan.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just want to highlight some events that are going on in the community over the next few weeks. The Daddy-Daughter Dance will be, the last one is going to be this Friday. We've heard nothing but wonderful comments from people who have attended, as well from the venue, just saying what a spectacular time the families have had. So I'd just like to say thank you to Patty and Lindsay and Mike and Leah for coordinating that. They worked tirelessly to ensure that it is well run and all the families have a wonderful evening. We also have the Meatball Gala tickets went on sale this week. The Meatball Gala is a fundraiser to support the Wall Community Alliance, and that's to combat drug and alcohol abuse in our community. So it's a wonderful event, and we hope that you can sign up on Community Pass. It'll be on Tuesday, April 29th from 6 to 9 p.m. at Spring Lake Manor. Also like to highlight that the Wall Alliance then will be having their pancake breakfast on April 12th here at the Municipal Building downstairs. And the Easter egg hunt will be happening at 10 o'clock that morning. So it'll be an eventful morning. That's all.
Thank you. Committeeman Orender.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. At this time, I really have nothing to report. Everything's getting ready for the spring with the Public Works. Really nothing else. The veterans are fine. We have a meeting next month, which we actually this past week, meeting we had, the police came in to talk to the veterans, which they very much enjoyed that. So thank you for showing up and explaining everything to them about, carry and conceal and all this stuff. It's pretty interesting the way that they perceived it, So, but thank you for that. That's really helpful tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Deputy Mayor Beck.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Having had the opportunity to meet with the chief, as I do on a regular basis, crime is down, car thefts are down. There's nothing new to report. We have 2 new full-time officers that are reporting for duty, which is a good thing for Wall Township. So at this particular juncture, just like to say that all's good in the hood.
Great. Thank you. And for me, where are you guys from? Communication High School? Yeah? Okay. So what you heard tonight was a couple comments. One was a continuing comment on the Board of Education. The Board of Education is its own elected entity. We aren't superior to the Board of Education. The Board of Education is elected by the taxpayers. They run the school. They set budgets, policies, all those things. We are involved with the township. So when we discuss Board of Education, we're not superior to them. They make their own decisions. They're responsible for the taxpayers just like we are. So when we go into those areas, we don't go and tell the Board of Education what to do, and the Board of Education certainly doesn't tell us what to do. Just so you're clear on, there's a separation of governments with that part. When it comes to personnel issues, we don't discuss personnel issues. We're not allowed to. We have attorneys, and our attorneys give us advice. And that advice is, we don't discuss personnel issues. There's a reason for that. We are taxpayers in town that represent all the residents. Right? We're just a representative. Our main function is to limit liability of our residents. And if we went out and started spewing off personnel issues, we would increase the liability of the taxpayer. So by us not commenting, we're reducing the liability for the taxpayer. So we're not going to comment on personnel issues now, nor ever, in this form or any form. And that also goes to any litigation that we're involved in, whether it's an eminent domain issue or a contract sale or anything like that, is we have attorneys that handle that. They represent the township taxpayer, and that's who we want to represent us. They're our paid professionals. We trust their opinions, just like we trust the professionalism of the police department, our public works department, our bus drivers. We trust them all because that's what they're paid to do, and they have proven that time and time again that they're trustworthy. My basic civics 101. Now we're going to be entering a private session. I believe we may have some. Is that going to be in a private session? Excuse me, ma'am. You've had your opportunity to make your comment. We're not answering your question. Thank you.
No, just
No, what you do, and what you do is this is like a quorum. There's like rules and stuff. You don't yell out from the audience. You can answer a question if you really want to.
I'll just answer a couple quick questions. Somebody raised the issue of Peddler's Village. Could eminent domain be used to acquire that? The answer is yes. Municipality or the county or the state can use eminent domain as long as the property is taken for a public purpose. I'm not saying there's any plans to do that, but in the hypothetical realm, yes. And then with regard to the bids that are being put out for certain parcels of farmland, that has been going on for decades in town. It's the same parcels that are mentioned. It's a sealed competitive bid, and they're really just for farmers to, many of the farmers have had the leases for many years, but the law does require us to rebid them every couple of years, and in this case, it would be a 3-year bid with an optional 2-year extension. So that's just a housekeeping chore that we're putting on the agenda. And it's spring, so it's farm season. So thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. we going to go to private session, or did you have some Q&A?
Oh,
Okay. Do we do that in private, or we do that just here? No, she was going to have a Q&A with Boy Scouts. Okay, thank you. We're going to seek a motion to enter into private session. Second?
I'll second.
Roll call?
Committeeman Farrell? Yes. Committeewoman Mangan?
Yes.
Committeeman Orander? Yes. Deputy Mayor Beck?
Yes, and
Mayor Clayton.
Mr. Mayor, this
Yes.
is to go into discuss executive
Yeah.
legal.
If I may, it's for contract discussions as well as personnel. The governing body does not plan to take any votes once they return to the public aspect.
And we have 5 yeas to go into private session.
Thank you. Thanks for coming, everyone. Have a good night.